Route 66, Route 66. We'll drive around to classic cars, pick up chicks and biker bars. It doesn't matter where we are, as long as we're on Route 66, Route 66.
All right, here you are on the second leg of your 6th day on your 10-day Route 66 party tour. You have some beautiful roads to travel today from Albuquerque up to Gallup, New Mexico. I'm Insane Sam and I'm going to be your guide. As always, before we get going, let's be sure you have good directions so you don't get lost. Go to Route66MC.com. Go to the right-hand column on the home screen and find a Route 66 town. In the Leaving From box, select Albuquerque, and in the Going To box, select Gallup. Give it a push and your turn-by-turn directions are going to pop up. Okay, let's hit the road. You'll be leaving Albuquerque by heading up Central Avenue. The next stop is Rio Puerco and the Route 66 Casino. This is a modern complex with Route 66 themed restaurants and gaming. It's nicer than most of the casinos you're going to find west of Albuquerque along New Mexico's Route 66. The 250-foot long Rio Puerco Bridge once was part of Route 66 into Albuquerque. The bridge is one of the longest single-span truss bridges in New Mexico. It's no longer passable. Next is Mesita. It's a small Indian community that has strict rules about trespassing and taking photos, especially during Indian religious activities. The ride from Mesita to Laguna winds off I-40 into the hills, and you're going to see some spectacular red rock vistas as you traverse this windy road. You'll see an outcropping called Owl Rock and a stretch known as Deadman's Curve. Ancestors of the current residents of Laguna have been there since at least 1300 AD, and people have inhabited this place since 3000 BC. The pueblo was founded in 1699, which unbelievably makes it the newest of the New Mexican pueblos. The St. Joseph of the Lake Mission Church dominates the skyline here. This mission's been redone a bunch of times, but it maintains the original adobe floor, beam ceiling, and other vintage features. Then there's New Laguna. It's part of the larger Laguna Pueblo. It doesn't have the character of the mission that Laguna has, but there it is. Paraje is a ghost town that's the last of the Laguna Pueblo villages along Route 66. When you say bud, you've said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say bud, you go as far as you can go to get the very best. There is no other one, there's only something less, because the king of beers is king of all the rest. When you've said Budweiser, you've said it all. You know, you gotta love a town called Budville, especially if you've been riding a motorcycle through the New Mexico desert. The Budville Trading Post was opened in 1928 by Bud and Flossie Rice. Bud was murdered when the store was robbed in 1967. Flossie ran it till 1979 when she closed it for good. I got good news though. The Midway Bar and Grill is alive and kicking with cold beer, so there will be Bud in Budville if you visit. In 1937, the Villa de Cubero had a trading post, a service station, and 10 cottages. It became a popular getaway for Hollywood types, and a lot of famous actors vacationed there. Today, gas, food, and beer are available. Some people claim that Ernest Hemmingway wrote part of The Old Man and the Sea there. I've heard similar stories about the writing of The Old Man and the Sea in several places, including Silvergate, Montana. Somehow Key West, California sounds like a more likely spot. Well, that Bud's good. San Fidel is the last of the near ghost towns before getting to Grants, New Mexico. There's the Zodiac Bar and the San Fidel Trading Post, but neither one's ever been open when I've been through there. Grants has several vintage motels, but they're all in bad condition. The Franciscan Lodge opened in 1950. It had one of the best neon signs on Route 66, but it's been removed. The Red Lion Hotel is the only hotel that has a bar and a restaurant. The town of Milan was founded by Salvador Milan in 1939. Sal was exiled from Mexico in 1913 during the Mexican Revolution, but he was mayor of Milan into the 1970s. Today, the 1950s-style Wow Diner advertises that it will wow you with its unique atmosphere and atypical diner fare. Blue Water gets its name from nearby Blue Water Lake, which is spring-fed and has a blue hue in the sunlight. There are few homes and businesses, but this is pretty close to a ghost town. Pruitt hosts the annual Labor Day Rodeo. Pruitt also has the Route 66 swap meet, which has been closed every time I've been by. The Tomahawk Bar is cool. It's just up the road a bit. It was opened after World War II by Pistol Pete South, who started with an adobe bar that burned. I didn't know you could burn adobe. But he rebuilt it and added a 20 by 40 foot steel Quonset hut and a concrete block facade. The only sign read bar. How cool is that? Simple and to the point. Tomahawk was added later, maybe by a different owner. The bar business was closed in the last decade because they always had fights and stuff like that in there. Today it only sells packaged liquor and beers. Too bad. It must have been a great place. Thoreau, which they pronounce Thoreau out there, is a bump in the road that may or may not have been named after Henry David. It's a local trading center with craftsmen like rug weavers, silversmith, turquoise jewelry artists, and guys like that. The next place is Continental Divide, and it has the Indian Village and Market Curio shops. There's also an old Whiting Brothers motel relic there. Signs claim this is the highest elevation on Route 66, but it's not. The actual highest point is between Belmont and Parks, Arizona. Next town is Gallup. Be sure to see it at night because it has one of the best collections of preserved Route 66 signs along Route 66. Gallup is known for its Native American jewelry shops. There are a bunch of them, and bargaining is expected. My first visit to Gallup was nearly 30 years ago. I checked into a Holiday Inn, but then I came across the Rancho Hotel, which boasts that it has the charm of yesterday and the convenience of tomorrow. This is the place that first got me interested in Route 66. It looked so cool that I checked out of the Holiday Inn, paid my bill, then checked into the El Rancho on the same day. The El Rancho was built by D.W. Griffith's brother in the 1930s, and it was used by movie crews when filming in New Mexico. Each room is named after a movie star who stayed there. The biggest room is the Ronald Reagan room, but my favorite's the Kirk Douglas room because it has a nice little portico out there. There's autographed photos of John Wayne, Tom Mix, Ronald Reagan, Humphrey Bogart, Alan Ladd, Mae West, Katharine Hepburn, the Marx Brothers, and 100 more. But most importantly is the 49er Bar. This is a rustic spot and you can almost feel the ghosts of all those movie stars who used to hang around. They recently modernized it a bit by installing some big screen TVs that are good for watching sports. I became great friends with the owner, Armando Ortega, years ago, and he would open the bar on Thanksgiving Day for me just so I could watch the Ole Miss Mississippi State football game. Unfortunately, my friend Armand has passed away. Up the street, they have the American Bar on Cole Avenue. It's a little rough, but it's a great place. On weekends, they usually have a uniformed police officer who frisks everybody when they go in. I get the feeling he's there to make sure the fights don't become too deadly. The bar stools are bolted to the floor, probably so they can't be used as weapons. Goodfellas is a popular sports bar near the El Rancho, and it always has a pretty big crowd. Okay, this is the end of your 6th day on Route 66. You should check into the El Rancho, get a couple of cold ones in the 49er Bar, and get ready for your ride to Williams, Arizona tomorrow. It's my favorite Route 66 town. But before going to that video, please hit the subscribe button so you'll be sure to get notifications of when I post new videos. Also, leave your comments on this video and I'll do my best to respond to each of them. Insane Sam out with a cold Budweiser.